Almost everyone has heard of world wars, but did you know that World War I actually led to the creation of Communist Russia? Or that during World War II, more Russian soldiers died in the Battle of Stalingrad than the total number of British and American soldiers who died in the entire war? What other interesting facts are there about these two wars? Let's find out in this video. Here are 18 fascinating facts about the two world wars. First, let's summarize the two wars. World War I began after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary. The war quickly spread due to alliances between European countries and lasted for 4 years, with many bloody battles. As a result, major empires like Germany, Russia, and the Ottoman Empire collapsed, leading to significant changes in borders and the creation of many new countries in Europe. Over 16 million people died, and the war set the stage for World War II. World War II was a global war that took place from 1939 to 1945 between two military alliances, the Axis powers and the Allies. It is often considered the bloodiest conflict in human history. The war involved over 30 countries and around 100 million people, fully mobilizing their economies, technology, science, and industry. World War II had extremely high casualties, ranging from 50 to 85 million people, most of whom were civilians in the Soviet Union and China. Now let's explore 18 interesting facts about these two wars. 3 empires ruled by cousins. Germany, Russia, and England were ruled by 3 cousins. Specifically, Wilhelm II of Germany, George V of England, and Nicholas II of Russia were all first cousins. All 3 were descendants of King George II of England. Wilhelm II's mother was the sister of George V's father, while George V's mother and Nicholas II's mother were sisters. World War I created Communist Russia. Russia likely would never have become a communist country if Vladimir Lenin had not risen to power. His political rise would not have occurred if the 2 Russian revolutions of 1917 had not taken place, which may not have happened if Russia had not participated in World War I. World War I led to the fall of 3 empires and the creation of new countries. World War I permanently changed the borders of Europe and Asia. It led to the collapse of the German, Ottoman, and Russian empires at the end of the war. And Austria-Hungary was divided into Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and Yugoslavia. Russia asked Germany to stop the war. World War I officially began on July 28, 1914, when Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. On the same morning, Nicholas II sent a telegram to Wilhelm II pleading with him to stop the war. The telegram was informal, and Nicholas II even signed it with his nickname, Nicky. The soldiers fought in trenches for most of the war. Soldiers quickly learned how to fire from deep trenches. These trenches soon connected and became long ditches stretching for miles. As the war progressed, up to 3 additional trenches were dug behind the front line. That way, even if the enemy overcame the front trench, they still had to face more. World War I led to the development of tanks. Trench warfare quickly led to a stalemate, where neither side could win. Both sides remained in their trenches, launching frontal attacks that almost always ended in disaster. Then, tanks appeared. Before the war, proposals to build tanks in England, France, and Germany were rejected. However, during the war, England and France secretly and independently worked to build a tank, hoping to use it to break the stalemate. England was the first to create a practical tank, which was deployed in the Battle of the Somme on September 15, 1916. World War I was not originally called by its current name. World War I was not called what it is now. Clearly, no one knew that World War II would happen. In America, it was called the European War, but other countries referred to it as the Great War. The first mention of World War came from America after American newspapers began using the term when the US joined in 1917. World War I plunged nations into debt and elevated the US as a new superpower. War is expensive, as the belligerents of World War I learned bitterly. The war destroyed the industries and economies of Germany, Russia, England, and France. Except for Germany, the other three countries depended on the US for supplies. The Treaty of Versailles officially ended World War I, requiring Germany to pay 269 billion gold marks in reparations to the victors. The mark was Germany's currency at the time, equivalent to 100,000 tons of gold, later reduced to 112 billion gold marks. This debt burdened Germany, which actually only fully paid it off in 2010. World War II marked the first use of nuclear weapons in history. Invented during World War II, nuclear weapons were only used once in warfare, when the United States used them against Japan by dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki near the end of World War II. The US defense budget increased nearly 30 times from 1940 to 1945. The US defense budget skyrocketed from $1.9 billion to $59.8 billion. Millions of new and old weapons were made, produced, and used in the war. World War II saw rapid technological advances and innovations in weapons. Over 650,000 Jeeps were made during World War II. American factories also produced 300,000 military aircraft, 89,000 tanks, 3 million machine guns, and 7 million rifles. The Air Force became a separate military branch only after World War II. The Air Force was just a part of the Army during World War II and became a separate branch after the war. More Russians died in the Battle of Stalingrad than all British and American soldiers in World War II combined. In the Battle of Stalingrad, more Soviet soldiers and civilians died than the total number of British and American soldiers who died in the entire war. Specifically, at least 1.1 million Soviet soldiers and civilians died in the Battle of Stalingrad, while the total number of British and American soldiers killed in the entire war was around 1 million. US radio DJs were restricted from taking listener requests. In 1942, US radio DJs were prevented from taking listener requests. The US government was concerned about enemy spies sending secret messages. Americans renamed hamburgers Liberty Steaks to avoid the German name. During World War II, hamburgers in America were called Liberty Steaks to avoid the German-sounding name. Additionally, sauerkraut, a German cabbage dish, became Liberty Cabbage, and German measles became Liberty Measles. Monopoly games helped thousands of Allied prisoners of war escape German camps. Germany allowed the Red Cross to send care packages to prisoners of war, and among the items that could be sent were board games. They created special Monopoly boxes containing items to help prisoners escape. German, French, and Italian currency was hidden inside Monopoly money. A metal file was hidden in the board. A small compass was hidden in a game piece, and silk maps of the prison and its location were hidden in the hotel pieces. Calvin Graham was the youngest soldier to join the US Navy. Calvin Graham joined the US Navy at age 12 in 1942, claiming to be 17. He earned a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart before the Navy discovered his true age. President Roosevelt drove Al Capone's limousine. After the Pearl Harbor attack, Secret Service agents realized they did not have a bulletproof car to safely take President Roosevelt to Congress to deliver his Day of Infamy speech. They used Al Capone's confiscated limousine, which was still in working condition. President Roosevelt even joked, "I hope Mr. Capone doesn't mind." And there you have it, 18 fascinating facts about the two world wars. What do you think about the information shared? Let's discuss in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more interesting content in the future.